Hey everyone, Alex back again, finally, with another video. Didn't plan to take this long of a break. Obviously, I don't know if you can tell from the background behind me, but we moved. Those of you that don't know the story, our landlord was selling, so we had to move to new rented accommodation because we could not afford to buy the property. Yep, Christmas decks are up, as you can tell. So starting to feel a bit more normal, I guess, a little bit. In 2025, which has not been the best year, but we rock and roll, we move on. So yeah, I got a vinyl collection update for you guys. Everything in this stack of records I'm going to show you is stuff I've listened to before we moved, and a few of this stuff I've even listened to at the regular vinyl nights we do at my place of work. For those that don't follow me on social media, once a month we do like a bring and share vinyl night at the bar I work in. So everyone gets to bring their own stuff and they get to play whatever they bring for 15-20 minutes. However long, depending on how many people turn up, they may get longer, who knows. But yeah, that's what this stuff is, all stuff I've listened to, so I can finally file some of this stuff away and get on top of my inbox again. So a couple of 12-inch singles to kick things off is first of all Escape, Who Can I Run To? Really good 90s group, 90s R&B group, very similar to TLC, same sort of time period. I don't know if they were ever as big as TLC, but there's some really good remixes of that track on here. 1995 is the year on this one. But yeah, that album there, oddly enough, is the only Escape album I don't own. The other two I do have. They only did 3 albums. But I've come to really like them over the last couple of years, so happy to pick up anything by them that I can find. This one, this 12-inch I'm going to show you is a reissue. Callaloo, Starchild. That's the short version on one side, the long version on the other. This is sort of calypso disco type stuff, but Callaloo basically worked with people like Donna Summer, Melvin Moore, and he even worked on Billy Ocean's Caribbean Queen, which is one of my favourite Billy Ocean songs. So there's that connection there. But if you like calypso disco, it's got a little bit of Afrobeat inspiration to it, because I believe, yeah, he's Trinidad, based in Trinidad, which makes sense. But yeah, this originally came out in 1982. This track, this reissue is from, I forget the year this one came out. That's embarrassing. Oh, 2018. Sorry. But yeah, originals of this go are really expensive, so when they reissued this, it was sort of happy days. But yeah, Callaloo, Starchild. Check it out if you're not familiar. It might be up your street. Might be something worth checking out. I don't know. Anyway, everything from here on out is all albums that I'm going to show you. Kicking off with Lianne La Havas. This for me was a late record store day pickup. Really happy with the quality of this one. Again, originals of this are crazy expensive, so when they reissued this, it was, really good news for me, because I really love this album from her, and I obviously couldn't afford the original because you're looking at triple digits for that pressing. But this one's on like a blue, it says pink and blue Galaxy marble, but I don't see any pink in the vinyl, just more blue than anything. But no, really good pressing, really happy with the quality of this one. I haven't really listened to much else from the Anna Havas outside of this album, like the odd single here and there, but may have to dive into her catalogue a little more because I did really enjoy listening to this one. Alternative R&B, sort of neo soul type stuff. If that's up your street, definitely give it a listen because she's one of those artists that I think deserves more recognition than what she gets. But yeah, really good album there. These next two are actually from a little stack of records my auntie gave to me. I haven't been through all of them yet, but these are the two that I have listened to. So first one is Marvin Gaye's Greatest Hits from like 1983. I think this came out on the Telstar label. Obviously, it's got all his big hits on there, like Let's Get It On, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, Got to Give It Up, Sexual Healing, What's Going On, It Takes Two, so on and so forth. Do love a bit of Marvin Gaye, as you guys might probably aware if you've tuned into my channel before. One of my favourite artists, so anytime I see something by him I'm always grateful, but the fact my auntie had this and I had no idea is great stuff, so really happy to get that one. Do appreciate it. As well as Donna Summer, She Works Hard for the Money. Now this one does have some water damage on the cover, you can probably tell, but the vinyl is very clean, almost like it was never played. But yeah, do like this album from Donna Summer. Maybe my favourite album from her. Either that or Bad Girls. I don't really know which one, but happy to get that one back into the collection. Yeah, always a good time listening to that one. Next thing I'm going to show you, is Aerosmith's Greatest Hits. Yep, another Greatest Hits album. I do like having Greatest Hits albums every now and again because sometimes you just don't have time to flick through all their albums to listen to the good stuff. But of course, Dream On is on here, Sweet Emotion on here, Walk Like This is on here, you know, the version they did without Run DMC on it. But yeah, really good album. This one I think is now the only Aerosmith album I do own, but I'm really happy with this one. As you can tell, yeah, has the insert with it, with all the credits and stuff, you know, when it was originally released and who wrote it, all that jazz, all the stuff you like to read when you're listening to your albums, but yeah, on the red CBS label there. Next thing I'm going to show, actually I'm going to save that till last because I have reasons. Next thing I'm going to show is Swing Out Sister. This is their album, It's Better to Travel. Now the big hit on here was a song called Break Out, which I don't know if they had any other hits outside of that. I definitely recognised it when I listened to it. But yeah, from 1987 this album, and obviously really good shape. If you're not familiar with Swing Out Sister, listen to the song Breakout, you probably know it, or might recognise it. Quite a big hit from them. Yeah, very good album. Over the moon with that one. You guys know when they reissued the Creedence Clearwater Revival albums all on coloured vinyl, I picked up the first one. I've got a couple more here to show you. First one is Bayou Country, which they pressed this one on an orange vinyl. Here, there it is. Now big hits on this album were their covers of Proud Mary, of course originally by Tina Turner, and Good Golly Miss Molly as well, their cover of that. A great roots rock band. I love Creedence Clearwater Revival, one of my favourite bands, so yeah, really stoked to have this one. in the collection, as well as the next one I'm going to show you, which is their album Green River, which, if you couldn't tell from the sticker or the name of the album, is on green vinyl. Of course, big hits on this one. You've got Bad Moon Rising, I think is the biggest track on this album. Used in many films. I think most famously it was used in an American Werewolf in London. But yeah, green vinyl for this one. These pressings all sound really good as well. Obviously, coloured vinyl can be a bit up and down sometimes, but no, they've really put some thought into these albums, and they all sound really good. So, for some people, I know Creedence albums, they find them all the time. Me, you never see Creedence in my area, and when you do, they're either really beat or people try and they price out of the market just a little bit. So it's nice to have these reissues, and they all sound, like I said, they sound really good. So definitely worth picking up if you're thinking about it, or there's one, or like a Creedence album or two that you're missing. Definitely pick those up. Another one for the R&B Soul Collection. This is Teddy Pendergrass with Joy. This is one of his later albums, so he wasn't on Philadelphia at this point. He'd moved over to Elektra. This one came out in 1988. This one's obviously got a bit more of that electronic sound back when soul was heading in that sort of New Jack Swing sort of sound. It's not quite New Jack Swing, but still a good album from him. Not my favourite Teddy Pendergrass album. Obviously, I love his earlier stuff the best, but this is still a decent album and actually very overlooked in my opinion when it comes to Teddy Pendergrass. So definitely one that's worth checking out if, like me, you're a fan. Yeah, a bit of damage on the back cover, water damage, but again, I get albums to listen to. I can't play the cover, so as long as there's some sort of cover to look at, I'm not overly bothered. Next thing I'm going to show is The Gambler by Kenny Rogers. And of course the big hit on this one is the song The Gambler, which I think we all know. This one, for some, weirdly enough, became very hard to find when he died back in 2020. But yeah, this one's a very good shape. There's a tiny bit of ring wear on the cover, but other than that, you know, very good shape. Cleanest copy of this I think I've ever seen. Because again, it was either priced out of the market after he passed away, or they were just beat copies and just sounded awful. But this one's super clean. Very happy with that one. This one's very different to the stuff I normally would normally pick up. But yeah, this is Brand X, Unorthodox Behavior. So Brand X, for those of you that don't know, is another band by legendary drummer Phil Collins. He was obviously the drummer in this rock jazz fusion band, I think is how you would describe them. So obviously he had his solo stuff, he had his stuff with Genesis, and there's another band he was in whose name escapes me at the moment, but Brand X is definitely the more left field, I'm going to say, of all those bands, and this album is the first one by them I seem to own a copy of, so really happy to have that in the collection. Again, don't see too much Brand X around, so happy to see them when I do. Next album is Arrival by ABBA, another one I'm assuming we all know this album. It's got a few big hits from them actually, with Dancing Queen being the biggest track probably on this album. Money 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 is on this one, as well as Knowing Me Knowing You. When I Kissed the Teacher is on here as well, which I do love ABBA quite a bit, so happy to add anything of theirs that I can find to the collection. I have a lot of their singles, and I do feel like you miss out on a lot of stuff, especially when you don't buy their albums. But this is a really one of their best albums maybe their best album in my opinion. But yeah, super stoked to have that back in the collection. And Chic Risque is this album from 1979, has the song Good Times, which was already a massive hit for them, and then Sugar Hill Gang sampled it for Rapper's Delight, and it increased the popularity again. Yeah, can't go wrong with a bit of Chic, Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards fame coming in there. Very, very good album. Next is a compilation from Street Sounds. This is Street Sounds 17. A bit of a rarer one from them. I normally see like 1 through like 6 or 7, but I've never seen 17. And this one's got some of my favourite tracks on this one. Nasty by Janet Jackson's on here. You've got Burning Up by Michael Johnson on this one. Computer Love by Zapp is on here. Set Me Free by Jackie Graham's on here. Yeah, just a very, very good album. Compilation. If you like your boogie funk, boogie soul, it's definitely one to check out. Some fantastic tracks on here. Yeah, on the Street Sounds label, which I believe is a UK based label. To the best of my knowledge, someone will probably correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, this one came out in, I think, about 86, but it's become very, very hard to find, that one. I don't know why. I think just because of the tracks. Some very, very good tracks on this one. Some sought after songs that you just don't see on 12 inches. So yeah, maybe one of my favourite compilations. Very, very happy to have that one. Next album is Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell. Do love this album quite a bit. I believe this is a Canadian pressing. It's from 1977. Of course, I was familiar with this album because my mum's a big Meatloaf fan, so she always had Meatloaf playing while we were growing up and stuff. But you've got the title track Bat Out of Hell, which is great. Paradise by the Dashboard Light is on here, which is really good. 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad is also on here. I mean, I'm sure you guys know this album pretty well, but yeah, Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell. I'd love to get Bat Out of Hell too, but I don't think that's happening anytime soon. But yeah, Canadian pressing of this one, very, very good album from him. One that, I don't know, for some reason has eluded me. I see it all the time, but you just never see them this clean. Like, cover is almost perfect, vinyl is immaculate, so we're going all over the place in this one. We've got some Shuggie Otis next with Inspiration Information. This is the 2013 Music on Vinyl reissue. I love the Music on Vinyl pressings. I think all the ones that I've heard all sound really good. I have heard that there are like maybe 1 or 2 that don't, but all the ones that I own at least have all sounded very, very good, and this one's no exception. Definitely a maybe top 50 album of mine. Do love this one quite a bit when it comes to his stuff. Yeah, can't go wrong with a bit of Shuggie Otis. And I do want more of his stuff, but again, he's another one of those artists that you just don't see his stuff. Originals are very, very expensive, and I mean, there's obviously good quality reissues out there. Evidently, I have the Music on Vinyl reissue, but you just don't see his stuff too often, so happy to get that one, of course. A little bit of Afrobeat here, not a genre I pick up too often, but this is Adremi Kabaka. I'm probably butchering that name. yeah, butchering that name, but 2024 reissue on the BBE label, which I've mentioned a couple times previously on the channel. They are a DJ friendly label that press up a load of really sought after albums, either sought after by like DJs and crate diggers, or just really rare stuff that's either been sampled and stuff. But yeah, you can see there it's got a bit of a picture of him playing the drums when he's a bit older, because obviously there, I think the album was taken when the album originally came out in the 70s. I don't remember when exactly, but there's one of him a bit older, and obviously he moved over to London. I was reading this when I listened to it. He's from Nigeria originally, and yeah, moved to London in the early 60s at a time when British rock was leading, when British rock's leading lights were moving beyond the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. Yeah, he played the drums for people like Paul McCartney, Mick Jagger, Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Wonder, artists like that. Just a fantastic drummer. Definitely worth checking out if you are a fan of Afrobeat. This one, I don't remember how I came across this. It was a while ago, but very happy to get this reissued and into my collection, because it's a very rare album. I can't remember if originals are expensive. I haven't looked it up in a while. But yeah, very happy to have this one in the collection. Men at Work, Business as Usual. Obviously a very big album from the Australian band Men at Work. Hence the track Down Under that they did. Which this album's 82, yeah. I love the track Who Can It Be Now on this album as well. It kicks off the album, very good one from them. Yeah, I really like the band Men at Work. I think they've got a couple of really good albums. Yeah, very good. Here's another reissue of a rare album. Again, I don't think this one's particularly expensive originals, but definitely not easy to come by. This is 100 Proof, Aged in Soul, their self-titled album. This is actually their second album. I do have their first one, I just haven't listened to it yet. But this is on the Hot Wax label. There's the inner sleeve, and you can see there, I don't think this was on the original. I have no idea, but they've printed up some of the labels of some of the singles that came out. Hot Wax, of course, a very sought after soul label from crate diggers and collectors and DJs. Yeah, as I said, reissue. I think this is reissues from like 2020. Yeah, and originally released in 1972. Originals are not expensive. You just don't see them too often, if ever. But yeah, if you're into your soul music, definitely one that's worth checking out. Up next, an 80s classic. What would a video of mine be if we didn't show off some 80s, huh? This is Rio by Duran Duran, of course my favourite Duran Duran album, with the title track Rio on it. My Own Way is on here. Hungry Like the Wolf is probably the biggest track on this one. Save for Prayers on here as well. Yeah, 1982 again on this one. Very good album from them. And yeah, always a fun time spinning Duran Duran. I know they're not everyone's cup of tea, but they are one of my favourite 80s bands, so I had to slowly get their stuff back into my collection. But there is my favourite album from them, Rio. I haven't got much left to show you, we're nearly done. This is Diana Ross and the Supremes' greatest hits. This is a 2 LP set. This is a US pressing of this one. A really nice gatefold on this one. Yeah, obviously has all their big hits like Where Did Our Love Go, Baby Love is on here, Can't Hurry Love is on here, or You Can't Hurry Love is on here. But yeah, on the Motown label, always loved Diana Ross and the Supremes, as you could probably tell from, well, if you look back over some of my older videos, which I would not recommend, you'll see a lot of early soul stuff on the Motown label. Very, very good album. Obviously, it's Diana Ross and the Supremes, what's not to love. Next is the soundtrack to Shaft on the Stax label, another favourite record label of mine. Done by Isaac Hayes, of course. He was he in the movie? I'm pretty sure he was in the movie. But yeah, another really cool gatefold 2 LP set yet again on this one. Another one I'm just super stoked to get back in the collection. There's the yellow Stax label for you. Big Isaac Hayes fan, big fan of Stax. I mean, obviously my first exposure to Isaac Hayes was through my dad when he watched a lot of South Park, because obviously he was one of the characters in South Park for many years. But yeah, just a phenomenal soundtrack. I'm sure we all are familiar with this one. Yeah, just one that's very, very good. Okay, the last one I'm going to show you, and then we are done with this video. I know it's been very long, and I'm very sorry about that. But yeah, this is one I wanted to leave till last, because this one is officially going to be labelled as my best charity shop find ever. Because I never imagined ever finding this album, let alone finding it in this good of a condition, and that is a UK first pressing of Innuendo by Queen. Came out in 1991, as you guys probably know, and yeah, this is, I'd say the cover is VG+, but the vinyl is near mint. This is an expensive album. Originals I've seen sell for triple figures, high-end double figures. This was a very, very good find, and of course I do love the song The Show Must Go On, which is on here. The track Innuendo is a really good track on here as well. But to think that he recorded this entire album, probably knowing it was going to be his last ever recorded album for Queen, but obviously he knew he was very ill at the time, having found out he had AIDS, of course. But still a very, very good album. For some of their later work, maybe one of my favourites, top 5 Queen album for me, definitely. But yeah, very good for some of their later work, Queen. But yeah, that's everything I'm going to show you in this video. Sorry again that it's dragged on for so long. I didn't expect it to drag on for so long. But yeah, that's everything that I've added to my collection. Everything, like I said, I like to listen to stuff before I officially say it's in my collection. But that is everything that I'm going to show you for this video. The next one I promise will be a lot shorter, but yeah, that's going to do it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Please subscribe, because we are really, really close to that 400 subscriber mark. And yeah, I'll see you all again very soon.